Hello, and welcome to another Cosmic Circus review. My name is Vin. Joining me today, once again, is movie reviewer John Dotson.
Hello, again.
Today, we are talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, which just released Friday, July 26th around the world. Before we get into it, I want to give a little bit of a story synopsis, whatever the story is. The official synopsis. Deadpool's peaceful existence comes crashing down when the Time Variance Authority recruits him to help safeguard the multiverse. He soon unites with his would-be pal Wolverine to complete the mission and save his world from an existential threat. All right, John, what did you think about the movie?
Oh man. Okay. All right, guys. All right. I want to preface this for all the Marvel people out there. I love Marvel. I've grown up with Marvel. I've been a fan of it since 2008 when Iron Man hit the screen. I've gone to almost every Marvel film in theaters. I love fun. I love entertaining movies. I'm down for a stupid time. I gave Twisters a good review. I like fun. I want to preface this, okay? Um, so I said on Twitter, and this is my brief thought on Twitter, and I said, what if I said that Deadpool and Wolverine was Toy Story 3 remade, but all the toys were soulless?
Can you imagine that those plastic toys have more soul
Yes,
than these characters?
that's my point.
Oh my god.
Well, Deadpool and Wolverine and Toy Story 3 they have a lot of similarities. Instead of Deadpool and Wolverine, you got, Buzz and Woody, right?
Right?
Instead of cameos, you got like Barbie that shows up, you got like all these random toys at the daycare that show up, right?
And at one point,
So,
you have a variant Buzz, right? You have the Spanish.
yeah, you have a variant. You
Yeah,
have a variant buzz. You got a variant buzz. You also got, instead of them being at Andy's home, they're in a new dimension, but they're at a daycare, right? They're at a daycare. Instead of the void, it's a daycare. Instead of Xavier's sister, it's a purple angry teddy bear, right? And even the ending is kind of similar, but I'm not going to go into it. Yeah, we'll go into that later. I feel like Kevin Feige is Andy, right?
All right.
He's this kid that's playing with these toys, but he's doing it in a way that doesn't make sense. Like he's like, oh, well, all of a sudden this character appears, and then all of a sudden Batman appears, and all of a sudden Iron Man is fighting with this character. And Iron Man's not in the movie, but
is that a spoiler?
No, it's not. It's not. You're throwing a lot. He's throwing a lot of things in there nonsensically without purpose. And I do admit that it's funny, that it made me laugh.
Very, very funny. Yeah.
But it just did not work for me. And I have to admit it might be my last hope with Marvel. And I don't feel like Kevin Feige knows what to do with the multiverse.
I agree.
I don't think he knows what to do. I think he likes the idea, but he doesn't know what to do with it. That's what I thought. Okay.
My brother, I thought it was hot nonsense. I thought it was, oh boy. Look, the cameos are fun. The jokes are funny. I had a blast laughing. But oh man, nothing. It's just
it's a lot of nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing. I remember the movie started and there's like 3 different prologues. right? And like jumping between like time and different universes or something. And then we
Mhm.
have this when we finally settle into something. I'm like, where is this going? What is happening? Like even the opening, what I thought was very chaotic and messy before it establishes what the story actually is, where these characters are, and what's going to happen with them. It just jumps, and I'm like, settle me somewhere, give me something to hold on to. And then the movie makes no sense. When we get into the spoilers, I have like, I don't know. I think I have like one point that like unravels the entire stupid plot of this thing,
I'm
and I.
very curious.
Hmm?
I'm very curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's just it's bananas. The villains, two villains, are both they're very well acted. Hugh Jackman, Matthew McFadden, Emma Corrin, fantastic performances. They
Yeah,
were
they're great.
so good.
But
But
it
they
doesn't add up to anything. It doesn't add up to anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they don't. Why did they try in a movie like this? This movie is I mean, like I remember I saw the movie quite early, right? And Lizzie was talking to me, do you want to do like a quick review without John or something? And this is the reason I couldn't do it because my brain is just because I was
Yeah.
so excited about this movie and all the cameos and whatever, but there's nothing holding it together. It's just batshit nonsense. And it's not, I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun like, oh man, I love this movie. It's fun like you said, playing with action figures, but there's no story to it. It's just bananas, bananas, bananas. Wasn't that a good time?
There's no soul. There's no soul to the people that they bring into it. Like, and I'll get into the reason. There's one cameo specifically
Mhm.
that like I'm like trying to have fun with this movie, but the misuse of the cameo makes me so angry that I can't have fun with it. It's just you bring in this individual and you do nothing to um interesting with it. You do nothing interesting with it. You don't have fun with it. You don't bring in the reason. You don't bring any purpose with it at all.
Mhm.
And it feels like that's the way Marvel has been for the last couple years. Like I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine is like a thesis statement on why nothing works anymore.
Okay.
It's just empty cameos with no purpose behind why they're there, except like they might as well be wallpaper on wall. You know, it's like, oh look, decoration. Don't you like this? Don't you like this wallpaper?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I like the wallpaper, but I want the person here. I want to meet this individual. I don't want wallpaper. Give me something that's not to them. Like, give me something that's not one dimensional. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, they were very soulless and empty. Like, I mean, do you want to get into spoilers now?
Well, I'll say this:
Okay.
you can replace every cameo in this movie, every one of them,
Hmm.
and the story doesn't change. Nothing changes. Nothing. It's the same movie. It's the same movie.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, we need to go into spoilers. Like,
There's nothing else to talk.
yeah, we have to.
All right, spoilers.
So
Spoilers.
spoilers starting right now. If you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, get out fast.
And don't look at Hall H.
And don't look at
They
Hallway.
already put the spoilers on Thursday. Jeez.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, on Thursday they had a Comic-Con panel. They showed the whole movie, then they had all the cameos walk on stage, and the videos are already over the internet. Okay, so what
So
I wanted to say, the cameos were so lifeless. Like you have these amazing characters. I mean, some of them are amazing characters coming back, and I felt nothing. Like you have Elektra, you have Blade, the Blade coming back, and that should be amazing. But he's an action figure who just says his like little catchphrase, and he's like, but he doesn't. You don't feel anything. You don't connect. He doesn't even do anything cool. The
That
one,
is the
yeah,
that is the character that made me mad. That's the
yes,
one that made me mad. You bring in Blade and do nothing with that character. Nothing. Oh, he has a bazooka. Okay, cool. So he shoots a bazooka. That's your big Blade moment. Um, I would argue that this movie is good evidence of it's good evidence why the Blade movie is not working.
yeah.
Why nobody
They-
can make it work? Because they can't make Blade work in Deadpool. In Deadpool.
with the Blade actor,
Yes,
the Blade, they can't do it.
Blade. In a rated R movie. You can't make Blade work.
Well, I will say, I was it was really cool to see Daphne Keane back as X-23 and to see her grown up, right? And she looks perfect for mature Laura going forward in the MCU. However, I was very disappointed with also she gave her nothing. Her main scene in the movie is as a scene partner for Wolverine, so he can cry and he can talk about his backstory, right? So even then, she doesn't really have anything of her own in this movie. It's just for to serve Logan's story, and even then, Logan's story, he's just telling us about it, but we never see. So much they show 2 3 times we get flashbacks to him with the gravestones, but we never actually see his backstory. We never see the destruction. Deadpool even jokes about the third act flashback, but we never see it. And I thought that was really disappointing. The one cameo I really liked actually was Gambit. I thought he was so funny, and I was laughing hysterically. Nobody else got it. Nobody else was laughing, and the whole I was just like a lunatic. Every line he said was so funny and so stupid. All right,
And
John.
it's funny, but like even that just felt like they didn't do anything with them beyond that. Like oh yeah, like okay, he's got a bad accent. Okay, well that's cool. So you brought Gambit in to do bad accent jokes for 10 minutes and don't do anything interesting with Gambit in the movie. It's stuff like that that just I mean dude, like why? Like Electra. Why is she here? Why?
I'm
Why?
still confused.
Why? What was the purpose of having her here? But everything else, it just felt like empty. Like we talked about on Twisters last week,
Mhm.
how they could have pushed the button on Helen Hunt if they wanted to. That would have been an easy manipulative tool,
Mhm.
right there. It would have been like a big proud moment. It's like every moment in this movie is like, oh look, it's Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel excited about it. I feel like it does a disservice to the characters that they claim to love, if that makes sense. So I don't feel the love for the characters that I felt in 2008.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whenever whenever I would hear Captain America talk to people, or when I would hear Thor, like you go back to the first Avengers movie and their interactions and their relationships. It was so beautifully written with such love for the characters, and it just doesn't work here. It's like everything that I thought Avengers would be back in the time when I thought Avengers might be a bad movie, put into this film.
Interesting. John, how would you compare this and the cameos, the multiverse stuff? How would you compare that to No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness?
Oh gosh, thank you for bringing that up. No Way Home is a good example of using characters, cameos that works. That works. You have Doc Ock doing things that bring story to it, right?
Mhm.
You have Green Goblin that like his appearance matters. Electro mattered to the story. And then we give all the characters moments that would shine.
Mhm.
That's a great example of using the multiverse to its full advantage.
Mhm.
It did not do it here.
Yeah, I think I really don't think No Way Home's like a perfect movie, but by God, it had so much heart and emotion to it. You know, when Andrew saves MJ, sorry,
Yeah.
Peter 3, whatever. When Andrew saves MJ, when he saves Zendaya, wow, that's a huge moment. And you feel it so much. And it's all serving Tom's story and Toby has the least to do, but it's still nice to see him. Like there's a heart, there's a story to it, kind of, and you understand it. Because Peter doesn't want to kill them. He wants to help them go back home. Great story. What about Multiverse of Madness? How did you feel about those cameos?
Uh, I appreciated the weirdness of Multiverse of Madness. I think it works better to a degree, because like it becomes like a horror movie for like 10 minutes.
Mhm,
The scene with the Illuminati.
mhm.
You know, it was shocking at the time, but I've grown to like it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've grown to like it. Yeah, because it's like, oh, here's the fan service, and now we're gonna just completely murder everybody, right? If I can for a minute, because I don't want it to be a completely negative podcast
Hmm.
or review. There are things that did work for me. For
Yeah,
example,
go.
like um, I thought I about fell out of my chair when I saw comic appropriate size
Yes.
Wolverine.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
talking? Tiny Wolverine, amazing. No notes, no notes.
Comic accurate short king.
Henry,
Yeah.
yeah, Henry Cavill as Wolverine, that was great.
It's fun. Yeah.
Um, I even enjoyed the first 5 minutes where he's like, I thought we said we're not gonna mess
Yeah. The
with
bye bye bye.
Logan.
The dance.
Yeah,
That was fun. Yeah.
it's good. It's great, great. And he's like sitting next to the corpse
Hmm.
of the Logan that died.
Hmm.
No, no, it's great stuff. And then somewhere along the way, he just stopped having fun with those ideas.
I think I do want to say that the Wolverine montage was probably I think probably my highlight of the movie. Like I really loved Gambit, the which is a joke, but then that Wolverine montage, I think that was amazing. And like I love seeing all those comic covers brought to life. I don't know if you saw
Right.
it. There's a couple really famous ones, and I was like, this is incredible. This is amazing. But again, it's this kind of empty fan service. That scene works, I think, because it's so short. It's for a gag. But when you the whole movie is full of like little gags, like isn't this funny? Isn't this funny? Isn't this funny? Before I mentioned in our other video, right before this, I watched Twisters 4DX because it was the last day they're showing it. So I suddenly had to do a double feature of Twisters and this. And during Twisters, I got a headache, and then my headache like persisted through this movie, and it persisted through the day after and into today. And I think the headache is not because of the 40X. I really think the headache is because of Deadpool and Wolverine and just how stupid and disappointing it is. Because I was genuinely looking forward to this. I really wanted to have fun with it. And there's so many things they could have done that were fun. It's incredible they brought back all these characters. It's incredible they had like almost full reign to do any joke, anything they wanted to do. They have the multiverse, they have Fox, they have Disney, they have every Marvel character ever.
I want to make one more comparison if I may that
Mhm.
on that that really um highlighted the mistakes of this film. So they show you how hollow the characters are in this film. How hollow and insignificant, their appearances.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the film, they do a montage of everything that happened at 20th Century Fox.
Mhm.
And I feel like it was another slight to where they are right now, because you're seeing the comparison to when things were good at 20th Century Fox
Mhm.
to the hollowness that you just experienced. And say what you want about the Fox films, they at least had interesting ideas.
Hmm.
They at least like incorporated a different story every time, a different feel, a different look. I
Even when they
mean,
did Dark Phoenix twice, they at least did it differently twice.
they did it differently twice. I, I'm I'm an apologist for The Last Stand.
Okay, okay,
I am. I'm an apologist. It's not great,
okay.
but at least there's a story
Yeah.
and they have character moments. I mean, they have real, genuine character moments. The Wolverine in Jean Grey story and X-Men: The Last Stand is emotional. There is emotion
That's
there.
true. That's very true.
When he has to kill her, there is like an ethos
Yeah, it really
that is
breaks your
there.
heart. It really breaks your heart.
It really breaks your heart. Yeah. Nothing broke my heart in this film. Dude, like, okay, do you play D&D?
Not really, no. But I know what it is,
Okay.
of course.
So another thing I thought about is that it felt like a D&D campaign.
Sure.
That's going terribly. Because about halfway through the film, I forgot what the stakes were. Like, I completely forgot. I forgot that there was a dimension falling apart.
Hmm.
Like his home.
Hmm.
I forgot that halfway through. I'm like, oh yeah. The whole point of this film is that he's trying to save his own world. I never felt that like throughout the movie. Like I never felt the stakes.
Hmm.
I never felt the urgency. I never felt any of that. And then when we get to the second half of it, I'm like, oh yeah, Wade's world is about to die.
Um, so for the website, I do reading guides, comics reading guides, where I go through like all the major comics for characters, and I try to break down who this character is and what makes them special. Can I read you? Can I read you something about Deadpool?
Yes, go
So
for it.
this is
Absolutely.
from our Deadpool comics reading guide. This is how I understood the character after trying to go through everything. Deadpool has been described as a sad clown, but that's a gross oversimplification of his tortured psyche. The experimentation that Wade Wilson endured didn't cure his cancer. It made him a living tumor. It scarred his body and his mind. Deadpool knows he's trapped in the Matrix, but he can't escape. He's suicidal, but he can't die. So he laughs through the pain because nothing matters anymore. Deadpool might seem like an annoying avocado, but the truth is that he suffers from constant, immeasurable tragedy. The best Deadpool stories are the ones where he suffers the most. I really, believe it or not, I actually like Deadpool 2 a lot. And that's the one where Vanessa dies. And the whole movie, he's trying to heal that pain and he's trying to bring her back somehow. And he
Yeah.
suffers a lot in that movie. And I think that the suicidal part of his character is so important because he's constantly in pain and he just wants it to end, but he can't. And he's suffering, suffering, suffering. In this movie, you have Wolverine who becomes the heart of the movie, kind of, and he's the one kind of in pain. So Deadpool doesn't feel any pain. He doesn't feel any suffering. He's just there to be insufferable and make jokes. And like you said, he should have stakes because his world is ending. The whole movie should be about him trying to save his world. But
Yeah.
forget about that. And the movie just gets so lost in all these things it's trying to do badly. And you never feel any weight to anything. And you have all these confusing villain storylines. You have Matthew McFadden and his Time Ripper. I don't know what that is. And then you have Emma Corrin, who's trying to do three different things. Her performance is great. She's doing a great job. Or they're doing a great job. But I didn't understand at all. Like when the Deadpool Corps show up, what are they doing? And then at the end, she's trying to like destroy the entire multiverse. But so it can all be the void, but just go back to the void. I didn't. And then the whole plot of the movie, what I wanted to say earlier, the whole plot of the movie is just that he needs to find a new anchor being, right? And the anchor being for Earth 10005, he needs to find a new anchor being. And so he goes to Logan, but Logan's already dead. Sir, you
Yeah.
have a time machine. Just go back in time before he died. Then the whole movie's fine.
Oh, man.
In fact, hang on one second. This movie takes place 6 years after 2018. That means it takes place currently in 2024. The movie Logan, where the character Logan dies, is in 2029. It's in the future. So Logan is still alive. Logan is still alive in this movie. He needs a new anchor being. Just go down the street. He's still here.
No, I agree. I agree.
At the end of this
And
movie, there are two Logans and there are two Lauras in the same timeline. Okay, John.
yeah, no, I completely agree. It should have been the same Logan like way before. Like 2010 Logan or something.
Mhm.
Like way before the events. And you could somehow explain that he still like ends up, where he is
Why
at
not?
the end of Logan.
Yeah.
It could have been the same Logan.
You know what they could have even done? Hang on, hang on. Do you remember in I think the Wolverine, there's the post-credit scene where he gets the yellow suit, right?
Right. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pick up from there. Say,
Oh
here's the yellow suit,
God.
and here's the whole
That's,
adventure with the yellow suit, and this is how the suit gets destroyed.
that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, man.
Go on.
This shit sucks. It sucks. Like I'm like everybody like applauded, and I was like,
Terrible.
so his mask is a onesie piece. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it was like a Halloween costume. It was like a Halloween costume. It was terrible. Like, this movie proves why the yellow suit never should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
About 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you know, me and me and somebody I was dating at the time, we wore like a onesie, like a
Okay.
Deadpool onesie.
Mhm.
And the Deadpool mask went over
Mhm.
like a hood. That's what I thought about.
Yeah,
That's what I thought about. It's like it looks like pajamas.
it looks bad, dude. Like I,
It was
I'm pretty
bad.
sure we've seen better cosplays that people made that in a cave with a box of scraps, right?
Yes! Yes! That's what I'm saying. It was bad, dude. It was bad. It made me sad. Now, if I can bring up one more thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the ending comparison that I told you that was
Yeah.
like Toy Story 3. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like I think this will be a good like
Closer.
almost closing point.
Mhm.
At the end of Toy Story 3, all the toys are holding hands and they're about to get
Wow.
burnt alive, right?
Wow. Wow.
They're about
That's
to get burnt alive.
great.
Almost. They're almost about to die. And then they don't. Right?
Incredible. What a wow. Yeah.
The ending of Deadpool and Wolverine, they're like holding hands. And both are about to like explode and burn and die. And you think they're dead. And then they're not. Saying it like I said, it's Toy Story 3 remade. Just the toys are not interesting. Mr. Potato Head is just a potato. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is, man.
And I'm so scared now because this movie's going to make a lot of money and it's just going to validate their strategy. And we're going to go into Secret Wars and it's just going to be glup shittos everywhere shitting around. Man. And one more point before we close. So right now, as far as the whole multiverse saga, we've gone through Loki season 1, Loki season 2, What If season 1, What If season 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania, The Marvels, Deadpool Wolverine. As far as we know, upcoming is Fantastic Four, then Avengers 5, then Secret Wars. San Diego Comic-Con is Saturday this weekend. We haven't seen it yet. What do you think of the multiverse saga so far? And all these multiverse things leading up to Secret Wars. Just very briefly, closing thought.
I can't wait to get out of it. They've said the next phase is going to be the Mutant Saga, and I can't wait to get back to a normal storyline involving normal characters. And I have cameo fatigue. I don't have comic book fatigue. I have cameo fatigue. I want a standard story again, man. That's all I want. I want Captain America: The First Avenger. I want Thor: The Dark World. I want normal stories about significant characters.
Yeah. And I wonder think about this for a second, galaxy brain. Right now, we're all getting kind of sour and tired of Marvel and their multiverse stuff. Meanwhile, James Gunn is quietly building his new Superman and his new DC universe, which, as far as we can tell, is just going to be a straightforward, normal Superman movie, normal universe. And I wonder if all Marvel like imploding is going to actually help James Gunn. Like the bigger Marvel tries to be and the worse it gets, maybe this is going to help build up the new DC universe and excitement for that.
Man, you have way more faith in DC fans than I do. I have I have faith in James Gunn. I have mixed thoughts on whether the DC fan base is going to be kind to the next DC. Because I feel like even if they get something good, there's going to be a blowback because Henry Cavill's not Man of Steel, and you know, there's already like angry reactions to it, and we haven't even seen a trailer yet. You know,
yeah.
I hope so. What do you think?
I mean, I was a DC fan before I was a Marvel fan. I grew up with Superman the movie and Batman the animated series, like all of that growing up completely. So I'm optimistic. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. But I think right now is like the perfect time for him to be developing his saga, his new universe, because the multiverse saga at Marvel is kind of a hot mess. And I think this Deadpool and Wolverine, like you said, I think it's really indicative of all the problems and everything wrong with it.
Yes.
They tried to make these cameos matter more than Multiverse of Madness cameos, because those cameos came for a second, they died, it was meaningless. They tried to make these guys matter more, but they were so empty and soulless. And the whole movie is about those cameos. Everyone, all we've been talking about really are these cameos. That's all there is to talk about, because the movie was hot nonsense. There's nothing else to talk about besides this fan service. And I think that's catastrophic. I think that's terrible for storytelling and for movies. Even if it's Deadpool, just turn off your brain. But the Deadpool movies, Deadpool 1 and 2, had real story, had real emotions.
Real story, real tragedy, real ones. Like, dude, like, you know, our good friend James brought up the fact that Ajax, James Preston Full name drop. He brought up that Ajax was a great villain. Yeah, I think he was. I think Ajax from #1 is a great villain. Cable wasn't really a villain. He was more like a anti-hero. But it's a missed opportunity, and for me, it may not be for everyone watching. If you love this movie, I hope you take that love and you run with it, and you have the most fun with it, and you watch the movie as many times as you want. It wasn't for me. It felt like it felt like a bunch of inanimate objects playing in the phone.
Yeah, it was hard for me to believe that these were the real actors giving real performances. It just felt like it was like fan made, just like people, like an AI thing or something. Like it didn't feel like this is really Wesley Snipes just and then just saying his little catchphrase when he claps.
Yeah, and that's it. Right. Nothing. No sword fighting. No real good sword fighting. Nothing.
All right, man. But I think
we could go on all day. We could go on.
I think we've kicked this movie to death. So thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end, if you like this review, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. What you think of the movie? How does it hold up to the previous Deadpool movies, the previous Marvel movies? Let us know. I'm Vin. You can find me on Twitter at Vin Writes Words.
I am John, and you can find me at John Movie Watch on Twitter, X, you know, that place.
Be sure to follow thecosmiccircus.com on Twitter at mycosmiccircus, where you can find more reviews, articles, editorials, and opinions like the one you just watched. Also, check out Uday's written review for this movie, which is really, really good. His review is already online, and he has a lot of his own criticisms of the movie, but he puts them very eloquently, very respectfully, and he makes a lot of really good points. Also coming up is our Deadpool Wolverine Roundtable podcast, which is going to have Brian Kitson and Alex Perez dropping lots of hot possible scoops or something exciting. I don't know what they'll do. So thank you guys for watching again. See you next time.
See you.